What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Trev the Keen here, and today I will be bringing you guys my Week 7 match of the NPL Season 4 against Razor Wolf 24 and the New York Metangs. Now, Razor is a good buddy of mine. We go all the way back since Season 1. He's the only coach still around that has been in every single regular season game. He's been here since the beginning. So he's a veteran. And although he's never really made the playoffs, he's still a very big threat, especially with the team he has this year. He personally does not like his team. I think it's an excellent team. But as you can see, the teams are up right now. I will be doing the team builder in the video, or not the team builder, but the team preview, analysis. That's what the word is. I will be doing the team analysis in the video, and then I will get into the battle. So as you can see on his team, he has a Victini Suicune, a Thunder's Tea, a Cobalion, a Haxorus, Porygon 2, Donphan, Hoopa, Feraligatr, and the Regigigas, and then the Mega Venusaur. As I have my same team as I've had since week 4, Kieran Black, Raikou, Togekiss, Reuniclus, Greninja, Seismitoad, Blissey, Doublade, Venusaur, Emboar, and Charizard Y. Now, you may be looking at the Regigigas and be thinking, wow, that's a horrible Pokemon. That's just a free Pokemon. You only have to prep for 10 Pokemon. Not with Razor. He actually uses Regigigas, like he uses it on the ladder, and he uses it well. He uses a lot of lower tier mons in OU on the ladder really well, and it actually did a lot of work against Slick Nixon and the Washington Charizards last week during week 6. So it is a threat, because it can T-Wave a lot of my team, and that is not cool. So I'm going to have to watch out for that. Victini is always a threat. I don't have any switch-ins for a Banded V-Create. My best switch-in is Seismitoad. And even that might get 2-hit KO'd unless I'm like max Fizdef, which I can't really afford to run max Fizdef because I need some offensive capabilities and some speed investment. He's got the Thunder's Tea, which Thunder's Tea is something that I only have about one switch into, and that's the Raikou, if it's a Assault Vest or a bulkier spread. And then Haxorus is also a big threat because after a Dragon Dance, it can do a lot of work to my team. Just a lot of threats. You can see the regular Hoopa. He uses Hoopa pretty well. He brings it pretty much Scarfed almost every week, but it's even Scarf Hoopa is still hard, even when you know what's coming on it, what item is coming on it. It's still a very, very hard Pokemon to prepare for. And then he's got Feraligatr, which is just another threat. Even though I do have Seismitoad, which has the Water Absorb. It's not too great of a counter, or even a check, especially if it's SD Crunch. That can be a problem. So why don't we get right into the team I plan to bring. As you can see, I plan to bring a Reuniclus, Doublade, Kyurem, Togekiss, Seismitoad, Raikou. You probably already saw the Seismitoad set, but I'll go into it later. You already saw what was on it, but again, go into it in a bit. First, I have this Calm Mind Reuniclus with Psyshock, Recover, and Shadow Ball. This can sweep his team. I believe I have enough defense investment to maybe live a Banded V-Crate, like a Jolly Banded V-Crate. I don't know about Adamant. And then Modest, just for extra power, because it allows me to 2-hit KO the Suicune, a Crocoon, when I'm at +3 special attack. So that's always nice. Shadow Ball is there to hit the Victini and the Hoopa. And then this thing is really meant to use Suicune as setup fodder. As long as he does not get a crit, I will win 1v1 because I do have the Psyshock, which attacks on the physical side. So that's always amazing. Next we have Doublade, which Doublade can be stopped by Mega Fizdef, Mega Venusaur, and Crocoon. However, I don't think he's going to bring both. He might not even bring one, but I think he'll bring at least one. Although it is possible he might not even bring either because both kind of just lose to Kyurem, which I feel like is a big threat to his team. If Fuchsia Bolt takes care of Suicune and Ice Beam takes care of Mega Venusaur because of the Terravolt ability. But Doublade, outside of those two mons, can really do a ton of work to his team. After a Swords Dance, I believe, 2-hit KO his entire team outside of those two mons, if I remember correctly. I have speed. This allows me to comfortably outspeed the P2. It hits 156 without any investment, so he would have to invest about 40 EVs, or no, he would have to invest at least 48 EVs to be able to outspeed me. I don't see him speed creeping his Porygon 2 that much. It does kind of suck because I do lose a lot of bulk, because I now, instead of having well over 300 HP, now I have only 259. Although the Violite still helps. I actually thought about running Life Orb Doublade because if I didn't have Rocks up, I could actually OHKO Victini after Stealth Rocks. Or without Stealth Rocks, I could OHKO Victini at +2 with Shadow Sneak, but I plan to get Rocks up. So yeah, and Sacred Sword obviously hits the Porygon 2. It hits the Regigigas, which again, this thing also outspeeds like a Jolly max speed or Adamant max speed Regigigas during slow start, which, you know, you might think is unimportant. It's not important, but it prevents me from maybe getting knocked off. If I was just normal Doublade, he would outspeed me if he had some speed investment. So this prevents me from getting knocked off by that. So yeah. Next we have a Choice Specs Kyurem. Now, I did say that Fusion Bolt plus Ice Beam kind of destroyed his wall cord kind of thing of Crocoon and Mega Venusaur. However, I highly doubt he will bring Crocoon or even Suicune at all. Suicune at all, because I have a Seismitoad which walls Crocoon. I have Raikou that uses Suicune as setup fodder and can do a lot of damage. I have Togekiss that can set up nasty plots on it and go for air slashes. I have the possibility of Kyurem bringing Fusion Bolt. I have Renucleus, which can use it as setup fodder. And then I have things like Ember with Wild Charge that can 2-hit KO even Crocoon. So that's why I'm bringing Choice Specs Kyurem, because I don't think he'll bring Suicune. Ice Beam, like, let's look at his team and look at his Ice Beam switch-ins. Victini, okay, that's going to take, as long as it's not like Spidef or AV, it'll take probably around 35% from Ice Beam. Suicune, that'll eat it up, but I don't think it'll bring Suicune. Thunder's T, that's getting O-code. Cobalion probably takes at least 40 to 45%. Haxorus O-code. Porygon 2, if it's Spidef, I don't think I 2-hit KO after Rocks. If it's like Fizdef, I might be able to 2-hit KO after Rocks. All I know is if I get it below like 80% and Rocks are, if Rocks are not up, but I do get it like below 80%, I believe I'd guarantee 2-hit KO as long as it's not Spidef. If it's mixed defense, then it can also probably live 2 Ice Beams after Rocks. But Kyurem is still a big threat. Ice Beam for Donphan with the Terravolt is really nice because I don't have to worry about Sturdy. Hoopa, I do actually carry the Shadow Ball on it, so that's for Hoopa, so I can OHKO that. For Alligator, really can't take. I have Draco for that. Also, if he does end up bringing this weekend, I do have Draco, which will do a lot. And then finally, Regigigas and Venusaur, which Regigigas, as long as it's not like AV or Spidef, will get 2-hit by Ice Beam. And Mega Venusaur will just get straight up O-code. So that is why I am bringing Choice Specs Kyurem. It's funny because this is the second time I've brought Kyurem this season, and it is also the second time I have brought Choice Specs Kyurem. It hasn't really been getting that much action, which is kind of unfortunate because it was the MVP of last season for me, going 18-3 and playing in all 10 games. But I really just haven't had the ability to bring it lately, or this season. But I think it's going to start seeing a lot more use, hopefully. But it is, even if I don't use it, it's still a threat that you have to prepare for. So that is why I'm at least not like dropping it for something that could be more useful for my team, just because the threat of it, kind of like Charizard Y, I've only brought it once, but you still have to prepare for Charizard Y, because, or else you might get really smashed by the combination of these two. Next, we have a Togekiss, kind of offensive spread with the Kevia Berry. This is for Dragon Dance Haxorus. Now, I do realize the possibility of a Rock Slide Haxorus because I do have Charizard Y on my team, and he might predict me to bring Kevia Berry, so he might not bring Poison Jab on his Haxorus. However, I don't want to bring Chardy just because I feel like I can't risk that. Plus, this if he brings Mega Venusaur, I can 2-hit KO him with Air Slash, and I can live a Sludge Bomb easily because of the Kevia Berry. So that's why it kind of has dual purpose. Yes, if he brings Dragon Dance, Life Orb, Rock Slide Haxorus, that is a problem. Or even SD Rock Slide Life Orb Haxorus, that is a problem. However, I'm going to just risk it. And yeah, Dazzling Gleam is enough to OHKO Haxorus. Air Slash can 2-hit KO the Venusaur. I have Defog to get rid of any rocks he gets up, because rocks kind of do hurt my team a little bit between Togekiss and Kyurem. So yeah, next we have a kind of weird Seismitoad spread that you saw at the very beginning of when I started going into the team. Rindoberry is for Energy Ball Victini, and the possibility that he could bring like a Seed Bomb Donphan or a Grass Knot Tornadus. Just he has a lot of possibility for grass coverage. Even like HP Grass Cobalion is something I am prepared for. He could bring that. So I have Scald, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Toxic. This is really walled by Mega Venusaur. I mean, I really don't have anything to touch Mega Venusaur anyway, and it's Move Pool. But this is especially walled by Mega Venusaur. I can really only go for Scald Burns against it. But the speed is for if he is a Jolly non-scarfed Victini, I outspeed it after a V-Create drop. So if he's banded, then I live 1 guaranteed. Maybe even a crit. I'm not sure. I can't remember the calc 100% for sure. But I do live a V-Create, banded V-Create, even Adamant. And then after a drop, even if he's Jolly, I will outspeed him because I hit, it goes down to 218 speed, I believe, or 219 speed after the drop, and I hit 220. So I will be able to outspeed. I don't think Scald will kill. However, I can just do a lot of damage, and if Victini gets weakened, then Doublade just is able to come in and Shadow Sneak and take it out at any time. Or if it's after rocks, after a drop, I will be able to kill a Scald. And if he's not choice banded, like if he's like, I don't know, let's just say leftovers, then I can actually live a V-Create plus Energy Ball because of my Rindoberry. Maybe not if he's like max attack, max special attack, but that would be a weird set, so I don't think he would run that. So, yep, that is the Seismitoad. It's mainly for the Energy Ball Victini. He could bring like a fully special Victini, so that's why I do have I do have the Rindoberry. It's really prepared for Energy Ball Victini. However, again, he has a lot of options for gash coverage on his team, so that is why I am bringing the Rindoberry. And finally, I am bringing a kind of specially bulky Calm Mind Raikou. This can put in a lot of work to his team. I have special bulk in preparation for the Thundurus because, again, like I said, I don't have a lot of switch-ins to the Thundurus. So I have to just have a good amount of special bulk. I have enough speed to outspeed it. Not enough speed to outspeed his entire team. Like, I don't outspeed Cobalion. However, I have I have 2 switch-ins, actually 3 switch-ins to Cobalion, as long as it's not like choice-banded Cobalion. So I'm not really worried about outspeeding that because it's not that big of a threat. Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, HP Ice hits his entire team really hard. I have answers to make a Venusaur, so that's why I don't have like Extra Sensory. I thought about Extra Sensory or HP Ice, but in the end I decided Extra Sensory. HP Ice was a little bit more valuable because if I get to like +3, I believe I can kill Haxorus, where I don't know if that Extra Sensory could kill Haxorus at +3. It could be, it could have, but I believe the HP Ice was a lot more helpful. Plus for Donphan, Extra Sensory didn't do as much to Donphan. So that's why I have HP Ice. So that is my team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into the team preview, and I will see you guys there. So bye until then. And here we are at the battle. So in terms of things he brought mostly what I thought he would bring. I thought the Feraligatr was a possibility. Again, outside of Seismitoad, it really did work. It even to Seismitoad, if it was, again, even DD Crunch could probably 2-hit KO me. Unless I was like Max Fistef, which again, I really didn't have the option to afford. So looking at the lead matchup, I'm thinking about just leading off with Seismitoad and getting up my rocks. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If he leads off with Victini, I can take any hit. I basically can take one of any hit from any Mons on his team. Unless it's like a Specs Energy Ball from Hoopa. Which I don't think he would bring, but just in case, you know, always got to think about the possibilities. So why don't we get right into the battle? Alright, so again, I said I was going to lead off with my Seismitoad, and I do. He leads off with his Donphan. Now right here, I'm going to go straight for the Scald, because I want to just get damage on this thing. And as you can see, I do get the burn. And as you can see, he pops my Rindo Berry with the Seed Bomb, so the Rindo Berry is really nice. Now, right here, you would think that this burn really doesn't matter because Seed Bomb wouldn't have done that much anyway. However, as you see, this Seed Bomb actually does a ton because he's actually banned Donphan. And it's actually funny because he actually had really a good amount of speed investment on this. Because he wasn't expecting Speedy Seismitoad, but I do knock it out with the subsequent Scald. Now I don't have my Rindo Berry anymore, and so I don't want to take this Energy Ball. So I go into Kieran predicting that, and he's just going to go for the Energy Ball. Now right here, I probably should have just fired off a Shadow Ball, but I thought he might switch into the Regigigas. If I had gone for Shadow Ball, that would have been a dead Hoopa. However, I drop a Draco, and it does almost 3/4 of Hoopa's health. And it is revealed to be a leftovers Hoopa. So this is probably max HP. That's why I probably took the Draco so well. I'm just going to go straight into my Raikou here as he goes for the T-Wave. I was not predicting the T-Wave Hoopa. However, that worked out fantastically. Again, I could have probably dropped a Draco on the Hoopa, and it probably would have killed. I don't know why I didn't. Weird plays. But right here, he's going to go into Regigigas, and I know as long as he's not Assault Fest, I can 2-hit KO with Ice Beam. However, I freeze him. And you might think that that doesn't matter at all. However, that really does matter because he actually turns out to be Choice Specs Regigigas Modest with Focus Blast. And while I am max HP Kieran, he actually does have a chance of knocking me out. The roll is in my favor. However, you know, and he could miss Focus Blast. However, that is still really unfortunate because he could have possibly knocked me out. Now, that would have given me a free switch into Doublade to get off a free SD. However, Doublade at +2 cannot win the game, especially without rocks up. So I would have had to decide either to go into Doublade for set up SD or go into Seismitoad to get up rocks. So I go for the freeze, and, you know, even though I'm a lucky piece of shit, I decided to take advantage of this, and I decided to be mean, and I go into my Seismitoad, and just to get up my free rocks, as he just tries to thaw out here. I think he kind of gave up at this point. As I go for my rocks, he still stays frozen. I decided to be nice. I could have just gone to Doublade and probably 6-0'd him here. But I go for the Scald, thawing him. He goes for the Hyper Beam for the style points. He takes out my Seismitoad, but I get 2 free SDs up here. And he revealed to me after the game he was not bulky Haxorus. He was like jolly max speed. So that means I have the ability to OHKO at +4. I can, after rocks, I kill his entire team. And right there, he knew he lost, and he kind of just gave up too. So he goes for Hyper Beam there. He already lost once I got the my second SD up. So I'm just going to set up another one just to be sure. And I'm just going to Sacred Sword. This is kind of just padding Doublade's stats a bit, but, I'll take what I can get. So that's Doublade's 17th kill of the season, and it's going to kill the last 4 Mons to get up to a nice 21 and 2 on the season. Again, I killed the Hoopa. He was actually Fizdef Hoopa, so he could have actually, if I had no boost up, he could have actually lived H Shadow Sneak from full health. So he prepared well. He actually, some of these sets, like he was Assault Vest Thunderous to take on my Raikou, and right here, I do go for Shadow Claw instead of Shadow Sneak. I kind of felt bad. I kind of want to give him at least a chance to maybe win. He goes for Earthquake. Even with like no HP investment and only 12 defense investment, that still doesn't even, a crit wouldn't have even killed me. And right here, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Sneak to finish off the game, and I will get the 5-0 victory in my favor. Now, it could be argued that the crit or the freeze on the Regigigas didn't matter, and it might have not mattered in terms of I probably would have still won the game. However, he could have actually still won the game because he was a lot of threatening sets. I had nothing for Specs Victini, which he revealed to me he was after the game. He was a SD Haxorus with Life Orb, which I only had Raikou do outspeed on my entire team. He did have Rock Slide, so after a SD, he could have actually O-code my Togekiss. And I was actually going to be able to live with my investment on Reuniclus. I could have lived a +2 Dragon Claw, and I think Psyshock plus HP Ice would have been able to kill, or at least Psyshock, HP Ice, and Shadow Sneak from Doublade would have been able to kill. However, even if I did pull out the victory, it wouldn't have been a 5-0. It would have been maybe a 2-0, maybe a 3-0 at the most, possibly even a 1-0. So I do feel really bad. However, it's Pokemon. I have to take what I can get. I really needed a differential after only winning 5 of my games by 1 or 2-0. So I really needed the big differential win right here, as I only have gotten 1 big differential win outside of this before this game. But it does kind of suck for Razor, and also he's like one of my better friends in the NPL. Again, a veteran of the league, the most experienced NPO coach we have. And it just kind of sucks to see him give up like that during the battle. He lost as soon as he got frozen. Like, the game was mine as soon as he got frozen, and did not thaw out within the first few turns. However, it just kind of sucks to see him give up like that. But, we do take this game 5-0, and we do move on to be 6-1 at +15. Second place overall in the league. Of course, Jolt and his Toronto Star Raptors are freaking tearing up the league right now. However, he's not in my conference, so it does not matter for like getting the number 1 seed in the conference and getting the number 1 or the first round bye. So we are actually up 2 games over Togue for the first round bye. So that's nice. So if we can just win, I believe if we win 3 more games, guaranteed we get the spot. We do get the number 1 spot overall, guaranteed, for our conference. Even if we only win 2 more games out of the last 4, I don't think he'll be able, even if he does match our record, his differential is kind of low, so I don't think he will be able to match the differential. I could be wrong. If he gets some big differential wins, he could. If I get some big differential losses, he could. However, I think it is pretty much in my favor to get the number 1 seed right now. So, after all that, next week we play Matty Brawlick and the St. Louis Rush Rams, who are a struggling team right now. However, that does not make them any less scary. His team, was probably the worst team going into the season. However, it was a team he was really comfortable with, proving that you don't always need to draft the best team. As long as you draft things that you are comfortable with, you will be able to probably succeed. That doesn't always work, but most of the time that does hold true. So yeah, and we do have a decent matchup against him. However, he has a lot of scary things against me. He has more scary threats to me than I do to him, but overall my team does match up better. I have more offensive threats to him. However, he just has the few offensive threats he has towards me are scarier than all my offensive threats combined. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun game for sure, but you'll have to check that out next week. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit up that like button. If you want to see more content, hit up that subscribe button. I've been Trev the King, and I am signing out.